Welcome back and welcome to another Thailand News Today. And before we get started today, we did an interesting story on thetiger.com. It's called Coming Back to Thailand. It includes quite a few links and references if you are thinking of coming back to Thailand at the moment, either as an expat or as a tourist. There are certainly opportunities if you do want to do so, and some of the links and information in that story may be of interest to you. So that's recommended, but for now, let's check today's main news stories. There were reports of shootings and the throwing of an explosive device at the protest last night outside the Siam Commercial Bank headquarters. 2 people were shot and injured in the chaos that erupted as people were starting to head home after the rally at about 10 past 10 p.m. Firstly, there was a man dressed in a bike helmet caught on camera hurling some explosive, thought to be a pipe bomb, into a crowd of protesters. After the explosion, there was up to 4 gunshots fired. A gunman was apprehended whilst other alleged shooters escaped into the crowd. The protesters had their own security contingent present at yesterday's rally, some 50 volunteers who cooperated with police in their immediate investigation into the incident. Speaking about the protests, what is it about all those large inflatable yellow ducks? We see them keep popping up at the rallies. Having been used at protests in Hong Kong earlier this year, the rubber duck has also become a regular feature at the Thai protests, a symbol of mutual support between both pro-democracy movements. And more practically, it's become a useful defensive shield to fend off the water cannons and anything else that ended up being hurled at the protesters. At yesterday's rally outside the Siam Commercial Bank, the ducks could be seen everywhere, with enterprising vendors selling t-shirts, toys, hats, torches and hairpins, all bearing the yellow duck's image. Yesterday's protest was originally set to take place at the Crown Property Bureau, but organisers took to social media the night before to announce a change of location to the SCB headquarters. Protest leaders say the change was to avoid a confrontation with royalists who, they claim, were being deliberately sent to provoke them. 10 people have been injured and sent to hospital after a bus crash where the bus driver claims he lost control, crashed into a tree in central Thailand. The incident happened this morning just before 3 a.m. The double-decker passenger bus on the Bangkok to Chiang Khong route was passing through the Phitsanulok province in central Thailand when the driver said he lost control and crashed into a tree on the side of the road. Thai PM Prayut Chan-o-cha says he has no intention to resort to martial law to stop the current political impasse and the current spate of protests. He says that existing laws provide enough scope for dealing with those who take matters into their own hand. But the then General Prayut, head of the Thai army, made similar assurances in the latter stages of the Yingluck Shinawatra government before he led the NCPO in a bloodless military coup against her government in May 2014. After years of talks, threats and complaints, the abandoned waterfront condo overlooking the Bali High Pier appears ready to be demolished. The Waterfront Suites and Residence is a half-finished condo project that was stalled in 2014 after safety inspectors discovered that the building's fire escapes and elevator systems varied from the already approved construction designs. Now, Pattaya's mayor says official plans to tear down what many have condemned as an eyesore as soon as possible and charge the owners for the cost of the demolition. The Israeli-owned development company Bali High are accused of violating building regulations by building a structure that exceeds the legal height limit, as well as restrictions on proximity to the beach. Local residents have also complained that the development obstructs the panoramic vista of the bay from Pattaya Hill. Well, you'll never complain about excess baggage charges again after you hear what happened to a former Thai Airways chairman. He's ended up with a 2-year prison sentence for fudging his baggage allowance on a flight back in 2009. The former chair for the airline has been sentenced to 2 years in jail because he didn't pay for 300 kilograms of excess baggage on the Japan flight. The court says he abused his authority by ordering airline staff to change the stated weight of luggage so he could get out of paying excess baggage fees. The judge says the sentence could not be suspended. Ex-chairman Wallop's lawyers say they'll appeal the harsh sentence. Who would have thought that some excess baggage would have ended you up in a Thai prison? As they say, amazing Thailand. Well, that's all we have for today's Thailand News Today. Don't forget to subscribe. We do appreciate you watching each day. We look forward to seeing you for the final program this week, tomorrow.